Also, Matt, your painting is crooked.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware.
I love it. Don't ever fix it, ever.
I'm not changing it.
It's to piss off everybody who sees it.
On that frame, the artist put in the little hooks or whatnot for you to hang it, and it was totally not centered whatsoever. And I was like, okay, that's the way she wants it then, so I'm gonna do it.
I love that. Artistic expression.
Artist intent, man.
I'll probably change that for next stream.
All right, are y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for a 10-minute fucking podcast.
Yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
me too. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the... Oh, my God, Matt, would you shut the hell up? Welcome, everybody, to the Slash or Smash podcast. I almost forgot the goddamn name. I almost forgot the name. I started this. Oh, my God. We're off the rails. I'm sweating. It's hot in here. There's lights beeping.
What an intro.
Anyway, it's back to the podcast. Where were we?
We were killing time to not talk about this shitty movie. That's where we were at.
We were, actually. We were really, like, beating around the bush there.
Here's the kicker. This movie is a cult classic, highly acclaimed.
Fuck that.
That's not even the best part. Say the best part, John.
I don't know what Tiffany wants to
And
say.
actress
I'm just
won an
kidding.
award for this.
Are you serious?
The sister won an award for her performance. No joke.
Pretty sure she was the worst.
They were all pretty bad.
Yes.
For her role in The Gate, Krista Denton won an award for Best Young Actress in a Horror Motion Picture at the 9th Annual Youth and Film Awards.
Well, there it is. It's only the 9th annual. It was totally new still. They didn't know what the requirements were.
It's that bullshit Youth and Film Awards. Are they even still around? Probably not, because of choices like that. But yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. Do you guys remember the plot of this movie?
No.
Some fucking demon hole thing.
That was that Pornhub movie you watched.
Yeah.
Matt
That's like
confuses his porn with horror movies. Yeah, the one with the demon hole, you know.
There were kids in this movie, John. I'd rather not agree to that.
That's fair. That's very fair. I'm glad that you went that route.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the plot? Because I read this plot.
Yes. I bet you it sounds so much better than what we actually
Yes. Yes. It actually explains some things I didn't see in the movie.
Okay, hang on. Before you do that.
Shot.
Drink it straight.
Okay, go ahead and read the shot. Or
He had-
read the plot.
All right.
He had to brace himself.
Oh.
12-year-old Glenn has a nightmare of finding his home abandoned, then going into his treehouse only for it to be struck by lightning and collapse. I remember that.
That was the first 5 minutes of the movie. Legit 5 minutes. It wasn't a 10-minute opener.
That's true. The credits were significantly shorter in this.
And that's what they spent their budget on, too. Just that opening scene.
Yep.
That lightning shot.
Yep.
That was huge.
Yep.
When he wakes, he finds that in his backyard, workers have cut down the same tree from his nightmare and unearthed a large geode, which is that rock thing they were carrying around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is later found by Glenn and his old friend Terry.
Fucking Terry.
Glenn catches a splinter and leaves a small amount of blood behind. Apparently, this is a huge part of the plot. That's kind of how they opened the gate to hell. I didn't catch that when we watched it.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, I think I put it together once once the Terry brought the book of the fucking thing over or whatever.
Yeah, so Glenn's parents leave town for 3 days, placing his 15-year-old sister, Alexandra,
Alexa, please spawn the demon hordes.
Alexa, please delete this memory from my brain.
Alexa, please erase my browser history.
You set me to do it every 10 minutes, man.
Please comment on the podcast if we activated your Alexa.
Oh, please. Alexa, play aggressive porn. I really hope everybody is playing that through their speakers, and you can thank me later. While Al throws a party, Terry and Glenn break open the geode after having discovered that it has left strange writing on a notepad and read the incantations aloud. Was there actual writing on the notepad? I thought it was just symbols and shit.
It was on the Etch-a-Sketch thing, wasn't it?
It was supposed to be demonic writings.
Yeah, it wasn't actually like writing, but it was like the symbols, and that's the writing of demonic.
After a few more drinks, I could write the same stuff, I'm sure.
I think we all could.
I would like to challenge that. and see you do it. They go downstairs just as partygoers are playing a levitation game. Everyone is shocked when they levitate Glenn. Nobody really acted like they were shocked.
That's
Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid rose like 10 feet into the fucking air.
Everyone was like, they were probably stoned out of their fucking minds, too. Let's just put that out there.
Also, it doesn't mention it in this plot, but her friends are the shittiest people on the
Oh
planet.
my god! Yes.
They were
Which I don't
the
doubt.
worst.
She's kind of a shitty person, too, so, I mean...
They should have died. They should have died.
Spoiler alert, when you watch this movie, but you should have watched it with us, you fucking piece of shit.
I must say,
Oh, no. The dog.
No,
he comes
the
back.
dog was the dog
Oh,
came back.
that's right. Also, can I say this? It took like 57 minutes for anything to even remotely
Oh my god.
horror-esque to happen in this fucking movie.
I thought it was a documentary instead of a horror movie.
I just have to have a disclaimer on this. I think kids are great. You know, I see John's kids from time to time. They're okay. I think that kids in general, though, are great. These kids, I kind of wish that they would have died. They honestly sucked.
I was praying they all died.
Terry has some tragic shit. That's fair. Trauma fucks you up, but
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But the other kids, the fucking group of mean girls, oh man, I would have not shed a tear for their death.
Terry was the best one, but the bar was so low, he might as well have just been average.
I honestly would have gave this movie a 1.5 out of 10 if everybody would have died.
Yeah.
It would have been better in my mind.
Yeah.
Or at least if Glenn would have been the only one alive.
Because the plot didn't even, it didn't even add up throughout the whole thing. Things just weren't making sense. They were coming up with rules as they went along with it.
Yes.
And
yes.
nothing to dictate that.
It was all a stretch.
Yes.
So I'll keep going. That night, Glenn sees his bedroom wall stretching, and Terry embraces an apparition of his dead mother that turns out to be Glenn's dog, Angus, who dies as a result.
Yep.
The next day, Terry brings a heavy metal album to Glenn's house with the lyrics based on The Dark Book. He believes that the hole in Glenn's backyard is a gateway to a domain of evil gods and speculates that their actions opened it. Just from a drop of blood and saying that shit that on a rock or something?
Well, that's not necessarily too far of a stretch. That usually is how some sort of summoning happens, is blood and then a incantation. That's not too far off, but everything else was like, okay, we're stretching kind of thing.
Was the incantation in English?
No, I don't remember what the fuck the incantation was, to be honest.
I don't actually remember.
It was probably Elvish, yeah.
Well, I was going to make fun of it. You know how them ancient demons wrote all their shit in English. Just convenient. All right,
They didn't have a lot of secretaries back then, thank you very much.
That's because every secretary goes to hell. Yeah. Thanks, everybody who watches
Holy
this
shit.
secretary. I'm just kind of kidding.
Kind of.
Yeah.
They have their own day. Also, they're not called secretaries. That's racist now. It's
what?
Administrative assistants. You can't say secretary.
How is it racist? Wait, no, how is it racist?
It's not racist. It's not racist. I was just being dumb, but you can't say secretary.
I get, sexist, but even still, men can be secretaries, too, and women can be secretaries. I didn't think that was a
It's not a masculine or feminine word. It's secretary. Secretary started female because that was just a lot of the role that a lot of females took up that role.
Yeah.
But now if you look in today's world, there are male secretaries.
Are you going to take away nurses too, John? I mean, doctors are just going to be like, hey, you, get the fuck over here.
They are health administrating assistants.
Doctors is too masculine. I need a less masculine word, thank you.
Doctress.
Now it's too feminine. Oh shit, Matt's turned on. Let's move on.
Currently searching nurse porn, says Matt. God damn it, where was I?
We're having a good time here.
He concludes that the only missing element would be to deposit a sacrifice into the hole, naturally. Unknown to them, a friend of Al's dumps Angus's body into the hole. This guy was a fucking dipshit.
He was.
I don't know what I would do if I were in that situation. I wouldn't put it down a fucking hole, I'll tell you that much. But, the place was closed, so fine, whatever. But, responsibly take care of it. Don't just throw it in a fucking hole because you think that's all done.
we're not talking about last night's hooker here. We're talking about a dog. This is very important here to have some kind of respect. All right? Very important.
Sorry for any hookers out there.
We're not sorry. And God damn it, if there's any hooker secretaries watching this podcast, you turn it off now. We're done with you.
Stopped watching 5 minutes ago.
Nobody watches our shit anyways. He dumps Angus's body into the hole, completing the summoning. After having read a section from the Dark Book that is supposed to close the gateway, the boys find the hole closed and assume that their efforts succeeded. I gathered none of this from watching this part.
Yeah, no, it did happen.
Yeah.
No, it all happened, but I didn't know that them reading that I thought they were just reading that shit that they found in the lyrics of that, whatever, that album.
That's true.
I thought they were just reading that, and then they got there and they're like, oh shit, the hole's closed, cool.
That's true. It's based off of this album stating that, oh, we've had similar things.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like an implied...
Yeah, they never implied it. They were like, oh, well, hey, it happened, cool.
It was like hidden between the lines, like, oh yeah, look, the kids read this incantation, and now the hole closed. Oh.
The point is that your thread of the plot line is so obscure that nobody was following it. It was just that garbage.
So you could, if you can't follow it, you can't question it.
That's genius. It's like Memento. That night, a swarm of moths shattered Glenn's bedroom window, and Angus's corpse is found in Terry's bed. Demonic arms try to pull Al under the bed. Always the best, to just hide under something and pull it under. That's the best way to attack anyone.
Blankets are very good barriers, thank you very much.
If you take the blanket off, that's when they can attack.
Yeah, why do you think I don't like sticking my feet out from under the blanket? Boogeyman.
I think a handgun's a good barrier. You know, I think I'm happy with
It's not a barrier. It's a fucking weapon.
Oh, it can be.
You can bury her that night with a gun.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yay!
And we're back on last night's hookers.
Wow, you use a bullet? Bullets are expensive.
I know.
It was a rubber bullet.
Pinky
Let's
up.
not get crazy here.
I'm a traditionalist. I use a crowbar.
Nice.
They try fleeing the house, but are greeted outside by Glenn and Al's parents, actually disguised as demons. So this is about halfway through the plot summary. This is 3/4 of the way through the movie. That's how boring the start of this movie is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because this is where the parents turn around and their faces melt. And I was like, holy shit, something actually in this movie that you'd think would be in a horror movie.
That's the one thing I will speak up
Yeah, this was the first horror element. Yeah.
for this, is that, holy shit, an accurate representation of parents in the 80s. Well done.
They melt?
They abandon their children.
Yes.
Quite
yeah.
frequently.
Yeah.
So I will give them props to that and only that.
That's why we're the strongest generation. God damn it.
Except Tiff, she wasn't in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't in the
Idiot.
80s, I was 90s.
Loser.
Why don't you just be born in the 90s, stupid?
I am, thank you.
Fucking Gen Z millennials or whatever you are. I don't know what the words are.
She's a millennial and so are we, you punts.
I was gonna say, I don't even know the actual separation, so I don't even know what I am.
I don't actually know either.
All three of us are millennials.
That's why I love avocado toast.
Don't bring avocado toast into this, because if one of you hate it, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of one of you.
Here comes Matt, right down the driveway.
Eating my avocado toast sandwich with a head in one hand and the sandwich in another.
Yes!
Yeah.
Call back to Intruder. After returning to the house, Al volunteers to inspect the yard, but the others see it swarming with small demons and call her back. Terry leads everyone to the basement to retrieve the Dark Book, but it bursts into flames. They then attempt to stop the creatures by reading the Bible. Terry reads from Psalm 59 and the hole begins to close. He's just that lucky that he opened up to the perfect part of the Bible to start closing the hole.
What makes the Bible significant in actually helping in any of this?
Apparently, words that somebody transcribed from Jesus hurts demons.
It's the ultimate cliche. Whenever you're battling demons, the Bible, something in some passage in the Bible is supposed to
Bullshit.
them or it's just a cliche. I'm
them.
just saying.
So what you're saying is we should throw Bibles at you the next time we see you, and we should be fine.
Yeah.
Is she a demon? Show yourself, demon!
I'm already on the podcast. Why are you telling me to show myself?
Your true form. You demon secretary hooker.
No, I can't break my camera. I don't have enough money to get a new one.
She just wipes all the makeup off and she's just a skeleton.
Fuck,
All right, but
dude.
as he's reading the Bible, he slips and falls into the hole. Oh, no. Terry is attacked by the small demons before Al and Glenn pull him out. Terry reads from Genesis, the band featuring Phil Collins, not the book, then throws the Bible into the hole, causing an explosion that appears to seal the hole. I don't know much about the Bible, but I know it's not a fucking hand grenade.
You know, I'm glad that you're going over the plot summary because it does sound much more intriguing than what I watched. But because I've watched it and now you're reading it, now all I'm doing is recalling scenes, and I'm just like, wow, this really sucks.
Dude, seriously, this is so bad. Like, you could have condensed all of this into half hour.
Yeah, it was garbage.
It could have been a short and been way better. This is the part that pissed me off in the movie. That night, a wall breaks open and a construction worker's corpse falls through. Terry had previously lied to Glenn that when his house was built, one of the workers died and other workers had sealed him inside the wall. As anybody would do.
They did a terrible job making that into the story. They just plopped it in there to have a reason for the demons to somehow possess something to continue wreaking havoc and doing... They did not do a terrible job. Or they did a terrible job.
Booze helps when talking about it. I will say that. So maybe it might help when you're watching it. I doubt it, though.
The worker pulls Terry into the wall, which seals behind him. Upstairs, Al notices a hazy image of the construction worker in her mirror before Glenn bursts into her room. Al throws a stereo at the construction worker, which was the only part of this movie I laughed at, and he disintegrates into dozens of little demons. Al holds the bedroom door shut while Glenn races downstairs to find their father's gun. A demonic version of Terry appears, biting his hand before Al stabs Terry in the eye. Al and Glenn hide in a closet, but the construction worker breaks through an interior wall and drags Al away.
That's another thing, too. It's like they utilized items just to, like, that really didn't work at all. Just to try and utilize them.
You can tell that they're just little plot points. Like, they need to go get the gun. But then they're going to hide in the flimsiest fucking closet to ever exist.
And by the way, the gun's not going to help whatsoever.
No.
At all.
No, they might as well have pulled a fucking bat or something. Like, the gun was utterly useless. Glenn realizes that Terry now represent the two human sacrifice that would fully open the gate. So they said that the gate opened before when they tossed the dog in, but now for some reason they need two fucking human bodies for it to open.
I think that was because the boys had read the incantation that closed the gate. So now it reopened because they had two sacrifices.
They had more rules that had really no legitimate reason as to why those are rules.
No, it was just a way for them to be like, because the horror movies like to give that sense of false, anticlimacticness. Like, they did it. They survived. That was their reasoning for being like, hey, look they took care of the hole, and then all of a sudden now the demons come back and want two sacrifices.
I want to point out to anybody who actually is watching this, we will watch good horror movies too, I think. It's, at some point in time, it will happen.
The first one was good. All right?
We did hit a decent one for that. Yeah. It's good.
It was good. I think that was a perfect movie to introduce this podcast. I think it was awesome.
Because if we would have started with this one, nobody's listening now.
I would have uploaded it, and the fucking servers would have deleted it.
You would have deleted it. You would have gotten rid of it.
So Glenn realizes that the rocket he'd given Al for her birthday, a symbol of love, light, and purity, may stop the rise of the old gods. I don't really know if that makes sense. He makes his way upstairs as floors collapse, revealing a chasm beneath the house. Glenn attempts to launch the rocket, but his matches keep blowing out. The wind sucks Glenn onto the foyer, where a giant serpentine demon emerges. The demon pats Glenn on the head and touches his hand before returning to the hole. Glenn discovers that the demon's touch has placed an eye into the palm of his hand. This went way out of, left field. What the fuck was the eye in the hand thing?
I feel like there's, references that we're completely missing. Maybe they're referencing something else. But,
I think so.
I have maybe it's just generationally we're supposed to know this stuff, or back then maybe it was.
I wouldn't
Here's
be
a fucking
surprised.
eye, apparently.
I wouldn't be surprised if they touched bases off it, whether like from when Terry and Glenn were reading the fucking album cover or whatever, like maybe it was in there. Because I'm not gonna lie,
Oh, maybe.
When they were reading that, I wasn't paying attention to what the fuck they were reading.
Right.
Because they read like idiots.
Fucking Terry.
Might as well be a secretary.
God, I feel like we're reliving this fucking movie.
We are. John, are you almost fucking done?
To me, it seems like they're like, okay, this movie needs to be 10 minutes longer. I got it. We'll put a fucking eye in his hand.
We'll just add more shit to it, because this is already a rolling pile of shit down a fucking avalanche of shit. Anyways, that's gonna fall on some really shitty fucking people in a shitty town. That's what it is.
You know when you're little and your parents say if you masturbate too much, an eye will grow in your hand? Let's put that in the movie.
I always thought you went blind, but all right.
It hasn't happened to me yet, so they're lying to you, John.
I look like that thing in Pan's Labyrinth.
Hey, that shit was fucking freaky.
Because it was Guillermo del Toro. He is creepy.
If it was based on your masturbation, there'd be eyes all throughout John's bedroom and everything, just all over the sink and just fucking everywhere.
Getting that weird sense of what is that?
Tryptophobia.
Yeah. Nah, thanks.
He stabs the eye, then struggles to descend the staircase, at which point the demon reemerges. Glenn uses a battery-powered launcher to fire his rocket into the demon, causing it to explode. Angus emerges from the front closet, seemingly restored to life. He's followed by Terry and Al, also unhurt.
Dad, nobody died. Nobody died.
Later, the kids worry about how to explain the wreckage of the house to their parents. That's the part of the movie I wanted to see, where the parents come home, the house is fucked, and then they beat their ass.
But they never came home. That's bullshit. That's a fucking bullshit thing. They never came home, right?
Because they're 80s parents.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about their kids.
Also, this plot summary is missing the fact that those mean-ass bitches ran away scared and were found in a closet screaming bloody murder.
Unhurt.
Unhurt, but
which pisses you off.
I'm just saying it made me giggle that they went to go hide in a fucking closet after all their big talk of, being a bitch.
Those fucking parents went and left for eternal summer slacking. That's what they fucking did.
This movie was just fucking boring. It's so rated on Rotten Tomatoes. It has an audience score of 45. The Intruder has an audience score of 52.
Well, good. At least Intruder beat it.
What the real amazing story here is that Stephen Dorff still had a career after this movie came out. That is the one thing.
That's not too shocking because the sister won a fucking award for her performance.
That's true.
So obviously
That's true.
anything is possible at this rate.
To best sum this movie up for me, this was like if R.L. Stine just fucking got wasted on acid, booze, and cocaine and went all over the place with no plot line whatsoever. Yeah, that would be it.
Oh god. They started at one point, and then as they started to try to play out what they had originally written, they were like, oh god, this isn't long enough. Let's just add a bunch of shit in to make it longer.
Jesus, man. We're an hour into the movie and nothing's happened. You're right. We should start putting some horror elements
Quick, melt the
into
parents'
this.
faces!
The only thing I see in my notes that I think is funny is kid is eating dog food. And I'm pretty sure one of the friends was eating a bowl of dog food.
Well, who hasn't done that?
Well, that's true. I'm actually, once this podcast wraps up, I'm going to go grab myself a nice bowl of kibbles and bits.
Ooh. Pour some milk on that, you're in business.
Oh, son. Don't even get me going. But I told Jordan, I was like, the difference between Intruder and this movie is Intruder didn't seem like they were trying to be serious.
Correct.
Like, it seemed like they were just trying to have fun. A bunch of young guys trying to have fun. This movie seemed like they were trying to create a seriously scary horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like when we compare Intruder, it seemed like Intruder was really trying to be creative with their kills, with the story plot line. They're really trying to be very creative as to how the events unfolded, versus this was just hey, let's blow our load on fucking everything that's shitty special effects at this point.
I think that's what it was, though. Is I think they were trying to explore the visual effects. They wanted to do more fantasy, sci-fi style.
Special effects is not everything. Get that out of your fucking head.
Fuck you, Avatar lovers.
Michael Bay just said "fuck you" for no reason because he heard that somewhere through the universe.
I will have a conversation with that fucking guy.
Don't tell me explosions don't make movies great.
They don't make movies great. It's just called action porn.
That's not the action porn I watch.
All right, let's talk about that. That's what I want to talk about. I think at the time that this movie was made, like the whole Satanist religion thing was huge in America. Like there was a time that was really big.
Yeah.
Actually,
and feared.
Yeah. My wife's got some family down in Indiana. And we went and saw, you're not allowed to go in them, but we went and saw like certain sites of satanic rituals and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Nice.
The shit that they did. The shit that was obviously massively illegal and just scary as fuck.
And that shit would have been hella better than this movie.
Even to this day, there are weird
valid
fucking things out in Indiana.
Yeah. Dude, I went to a religious school and they actually showed us like a video in high school of like how you can slip into Satanism by playing D&D. No joke.
Was this thing called Stranger Things or no?
God damn it, Eddie!
God, I miss Eddie. Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, that was seriously a thing. And I think it was right, like, I mean, that was several years later, but I think that was like a thing at the time. It's like Satanism and Satan worshiping all. It was huge and it was very frowned upon. So maybe they tried to play off it in this movie. And they're like, miniature demons the size of squirrels and a hole in your backyard. That's scary.
Well, I think they also tried to play it off with the music because the Satanist stuff came from an album cover. So I think they were trying to hit home of like, music can be satanic. And this is what happens. You get a fucking gate that opens up in your backyard.
You listen to that metal music, you're going to have a big old demon gate in your backyard where your treehouse used to be.
Right?
Well, I'm fucked and I'm just waiting for the zombie apocalypse, so.
That's true. If the zombies are short, like squirrels, like these demons were, I think we might be able to beat them.
If the zombie apocalypse does come, I will be pulling up in my truck, blazing probably AC/DC, with 2 shotguns in my hand up to your house, John, and just blowing fucking shit away. We'll find Tiff along the way.
No, I'll already be dead.
That's true. She'll be like patient number 1.
No, I've already told my dad if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm throwing myself over the balcony. I ain't being a fucking zombie.
You know what, Matt? Maybe go get Tiff first. She seems like maybe she needs a little help.
No, at that point she is fucked.
First stop, liquor store. Second stop, butcher. Third stop, grocery store. We set up shop.
Pawn stores seem to be pretty
I'm taking
cool.
you guys to an island. Fuck that. We're going to an island.
Like a romantic island?
Like you're not gonna die, so go here island?
But how do we get supplies?
We'll get boats. We'll go for supply runs. You can survive on a lot just with land, John.
I can survive on a lot. I'm overweight. Anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Zombie Survival Podcast.
There's ID number 2.
So wait, did we rank this yet?
Nope, I say we were going to go around the room. Matt, you can start. Slash or smash?
I would slash this. I would line up the children and slash them as well. And,
we went dark.
Yeah. That's valid.
Agreed, but we went really dark.
Oh, and that fuck that threw the dog into the fucking hole, I'd probably tear his limbs off with horses.
This is literally the type of movie where you put a mob hit out and you like take them, take the family, take the relatives, take the relatives' friends, and their neighbors. You kill everybody associated with this family. This movie sucked.
Yeah, give it the full Freddy Krueger cure scenario. Kill literally everybody that has anything to do with it.
Tiff? This is where Tiff goes, honestly, guys, let's smash it. It was a great art piece.
No.
She's going to Paul Abdul this shit.
No, I'm good. I'm going to go with slash. I was not
Yeah.
I don't even have words anymore to
You really got
describe
your
how
message
terrible.
across.
Matt's very vocal
Yeah.
about how terrible this movie was. I think he speaks for all of us at this point.
You could have.
tried.
They could have saved it. They could have saved it. Give me a little action. Maybe sprinkle some titties in there.
They could have saved it
Adult
by
ones.
literally having at least 2 deaths.
Yeah, where are you gonna? That's the problem. Where are you gonna get those titties from? Because if you see any of the characters that actually are around when the haunting happens, you're a pedophile.
Yeah,
dog.
you have a point.
The dog.
I think the dog was male. That's
Good old bestiality. All right, there we go.
You don't put fake tits on the male dog. That would have made it a better movie to me. I don't even care. He could just jog around the whole time, swinging to and fro, rubbing them nipples across the grass.
Or the demons. Maybe the demons.
The
How about
demons
that?
could have had tits.
Yeah, they could
That
have
would
had
have
tits.
been
There you go.
great.
That
Rubber,
would have
clay,
helped.
weird 2-foot-tall demons with titties just running around everywhere,
all right, guys.
holding you down and just slapping you,
You
in the
guys-
Slap
face.
it,
You
Terry,
guys
right
make
in
a
the
$1 million movie. You know how to get John in on it.
That's true. Just put that on the cover. This is a movie where there's tons of tiny little demons with titties swinging around, running around everywhere. I'd be like, well, this looks good.
Name of the movie: Demons with Titties.
That's at the back of the video store.
Everybody, you can
Jesus.
find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and anywhere that puts out podcasts. We are everywhere. Go on our socials, post shit, post memes, post pictures of us with titties drawn on us. Photoshop me as a 2-foot-tall demon.
Demon. Yes, the demons.
Demon.
I was just going to Photoshop like 2-week-old food stuck in your beard, but that went to a whole fucking other place.
Is there?
Probably.
No.
No,
Yeah,
it's
probably.
too short. John, why did you trim it?
Because it was hot and I'm fat and I sweat and it's hot outside.
At least you don't look like a skeleton.
Like Tiffany without makeup.
Hey man, I'm growing it. I'm growing it out. You just wait.
I love
I
that, dude.
love
Keep the
that
silver
hair.
going it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Silver's gonna grow out. I just have to grow out all the dyed hair that I've been dyeing for years and years and years.
60 looks good on you.
I know we joke a lot, but you know, you're something absolutely great.
For everybody who's listening, these two are not complete assholes all the time.
I was
Yes.
just going to say that feeling is one-sided, and I hate your guts. You're pretty much a secretary hooker to me.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll get my gun ready and we'll take care of this.
All right, everybody, seriously, we had a great time. This movie sucked. Don't watch it. And
Yikes.
next week's will be a way better episode.
We
Yep.
fucking hope.
Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye guys.
Night.